Well, hello, and it's hello here from Mama Jane's husband and from
Mama Jane.
and we are aboard the P&O cruise ship Aurora, and we got on board yesterday, the 5th of August, and we thought we'd tell you about our experiences of getting on board and our initial experiences of the ship and everything. So, yes, well, we had a really easy drive down yesterday to Southampton. We live about 4 hours away, and with a few stops, it took us about 5 and a bit hours to get down. And we arrived, and as usual, we booked the car in with CPS in Southampton, and that seemed to go really, really well, didn't
Really
it?
well.
Yeah.
It usually does. They're very, very efficient.
Yeah.
We've used them a few times.
We've used them a few times now, haven't we?
Yeah.
And if you've never been to Southampton, never parked up and to go cruising, very simple system that CPS use is you drive in, you put something in your windscreen to say that you booked with them, and you put in a holding queue, and then when you get to the front of the holding queue, you're sent into the main queue, and you're in a row of cars, and the staff go up that row of cars, and they check that you're booked in, they check your details, and then they photograph your car. Now, normally they just take 4 corners of your car, but yesterday, because they'd had a lot of issues, they were taking much more detailed photos, weren't they? Yeah. And then you make sure you take everything out of the car that you need, and then you hand over your keys to CPS. They park the car, give you a receipt, and then when you get back off the end of the ship, you're directed to where your car is, and you pick up the keys, and off you go. And the system seems to work really, really well. They had loads of staff on yesterday, I have to say. So once we'd done that, we took our luggage with us, and where did we take them then? What were they called?
Well, just rewind slightly, because when we've used them before, they actually come with a trolley to your car, and they take the luggage and take it and deal with it. Now, yesterday, unless you actually asked for help, they didn't do that. You just got the trolley yourself. They're just by the side of the roadway there, and you load up your baggage and you take it. Then they tell you which pod you're on. We were in pod 3,
yeah,
and off it goes, and that's the end of that.
And then after that, we went to the departure lounge, yeah, with P&O, and well, I thought it was almost back to pre-cruising, pre-COVID setup. In fact, parts of it were better even, because they had so many staff on. Yeah. Unlike some of the other cruises we've been on since COVID started, there were masses of staff, and it was so slick, wasn't it? We'd had to. There was no testing in port, so we had to make sure we did a test ourselves within 48 hours of cruising. We didn't have to have any proof of what our result was. They took our word for what it was. We had to have our our vaccine certificates, including the booster and the insurance, and somebody checked all that, and then we went through that check, and then we walked somewhere else, and they checked it again, and checked our passports, and then we went to a third desk, and that was it. Then we went through security, didn't we?
And before, when we've done the check-in, you have your photograph taken, they scan your credit card, because as you probably know, you don't use any cash on board. You use purely your cruise card or whatever, medallion or whatever companies use. But in fact, because Mama Jane's husband had done that online before we set up, we didn't even have to do that. That was all done.
Now, Mama Jane's husband has done that on numerous other cruises beforehand, but they then still gone and done it in the port. But we didn't have that with P&O, so it was very slick, very well done P&O.
Yeah.
So top marks really
Yeah.
for embarkation for P&O. You got a
Yes.
big tick in the box for that. And before we knew it, we were on the cruise ship, weren't we?
Yeah.
Now, I have to say, it was an underwhelming entrance, didn't you think?
Yeah.
Didn't you think?
Because we've just been looking now at where we actually got on. Because when you get on, you're a bit sort of, go this way, go that way. And it seemed like really quite a bland, nothing to look at entrance, foyer, whatever you want to call it. But in fact, today, when we've gone back, when it's all clear and it's just the normal ship routine, it's really quite beautiful. But it's very like, you go on Cunard and it's like this stunning, spectacular entrance. You go on the big modern ships and it's very blingy and sparkly. You came on here and you thought...
It were low ceiling.
Low ceiling.
So when you enter, you get into a very low ceiling.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of nothingness, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and the good thing, what they do is, in other companies, you sort of, at some point before setting sail, everybody has to have found their muster station and be signed off, however, to say that you've been. Now here, before you even went to your cabin, you had to go along to your muster station and have your embarkation things zapped so that it would register that you'd actually been. That is the law, apparently, or
that's how they do it here.
Well, and also this muster station drill thing is you've got to have
maritime law.
That's the word I'm looking for. Maritime law. So the ship is not allowed to set sail if not everybody's been.
But again, top marks to P&O because it was as slick as a baby's bottom, wasn't it?
Can you say that?
I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not. You'll see if you can edit that.
Do you think so? Sounds all right to me.
All right.
Then before we knew it, where did we end up?
In a hot tub.
Yeah. Now, first black mark for P&O here is that only half the hot tubs are working properly. So
actually, no. Some of them you can't even go in because they've got the net over. Which usually means they're cleaning it or there's a problem. Well, the net is still over today.
Yeah. Some are cold.
So although they may have got, 2, 4, 6 of them, 5, 6.
They got five hot tubs.
Yeah.
Only 2 of them are functioning properly. But anyway, we were in the hot tub.
Yeah.
And then we got out because they're pretty strict on P&O. They won't serve you alcohol in the any drinks in the pool area. No, in the pool when you're in the pool. Yeah. So there was no prosecco in the jacuzzi for us. We had to get out of the jacuzzi to have some prosecco. Yeah. And then we went to the.
What a first world problem.
Yeah. And then we went to the Lido restaurant, didn't we?
Yeah.
And they cooked us some hot dog and chips, which we loved. And you had a burger and chips.
Very nice.
Very nice. And then somehow we ended up having another prosecco after that. Yeah. And I went back in the pool. Mama Jane had a read. And then you decided you were going back to the cabin. And Mama Jane's husband went back in the pool for a soak.
Because Mama Jane came and the suitcases arrived and I unpacked all the luggage. How kind of man.
Yeah, well done, Mama Jane. Well done. While Mama Jane's husband idled his way by the side of the pool, having a pint of Peroni.
A pint?
Yeah. And then we got back and we had a good night last night.
We did, yeah.
Good night's entertainment. We were in the headliner theatre, strange theatre, I have to say.
Yeah.
Bit of an odd shaped theatre. Not encountered one of them before. All on one level, and it's just like a bit of an amphitheatre, really. And we were in the there's a masquerade lounge where they have music as well, and then there's one at the other end of the ship. Can't remember what that's called, but they had a pop band Pulse, which were playing there, and then we went to the buffet for food. That was absolutely fine.
Good choice.
Good choice
nice
of food.
Quality, good
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
Something for everybody. If you didn't like something, well, I don't know what you wanted, because there was everything, you know.
Yeah. So first impressions are pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a functional ship. It is perfectly nice ship.
Yeah.
Food so far has been excellent. Pretty staff have been outstanding, haven't they?
Outstanding.
Absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
The staff, and and I think there's the higher ratio of staff to patients.
Patience.
That's a blast from the past. Higher ratio of staff to cruisers than perhaps we've experienced on other ships post-COVID. We're having a pretty good time, aren't we?
Yeah.
One thing we really like as well on this ship is that at each level, you can walk to the back of the ship and get straight out. So there's a lovely aft pool and a couple of jacuzzis, a couple of aft bars, and the whole of the aft is open, and you can get to it from every deck.
Yeah.
And so we can walk to the end of the deck that our cabin is on, and straight out.
Yeah.
And we love that, don't we?
Unlike if you're on a really big ship where sometimes you can't get to the very end or the very front or whatever you want, you've got to be going up and downstairs, and it takes you forever to learn your way around. Even I, on this ship, already know my way around.
So we are on a 3-week cruise, and we're going around Iceland, up into the Arctic Circle, up into the top part of Norway, and we're working our way down the Norwegian coast over the next 3 weeks. So we'll be trying to report on our progress and our adventures, won't we, Mama Jane? So for now, it's a goodbye from
me,
and it's a goodbye from
him.
goodbye.